Hi, I'm Jody.
And I'm Alison.
And you're listening to... the Blume Saloon.
It's a Judy Blume book club.
God. What is this again?
What is life?
What is life? I blame the eclipse.
Oh, yeah. That's totally wrecking everything today.
Happy eclipse, everyone.
Happy eclipse. Fun fact.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. This book was released in 1973. Guess what happened in 1973?
The last eclipse.
It wasn't the last one, but there was one. It was the longest one.
That's amazing.
It was a total eclipse for 7 minutes and 4 seconds.
Whoa.
Guess what?
What?
This is wild. They were recording it, and it was like one of the first times that like a few different space centers were able to kind of work together, and these scientists were like up in planes, and scientists in the U.S. were in Los Alamos.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Crystals.
Everything.
Eclipses.
Tiger's Eye definitely brought us this magic.
I don't know if you saw the whole trick on all over Facebook where you stand a broom up on its end because apparently gravity is slightly different during an eclipse.
No.
So my very educated scientific friend, who I fully trust, posted a video of him like balancing brooms on their end, they just like stand up upright by themselves, and it was kind of mind-blowing. I'm like, wow, if he says it must be true. So I immediately went inside, found a broom, stood it on its end, and was blown away with my own magic of this eclipse gravity. And then I was like, wait a second, this seems a little off. So I snoped it. Looked it up on Snopes. I don't know.
What's Snopes?
You don't go to Snopes?
No, what is Snopes?
It is like the number one debunking site you should go to if you ever hear anything that you're doubting its authenticity.
Oh, wow. That'll really keep you away from the fake news then.
Yes. And apparently their traffic is like spiked like 1,000 times since 45 came into office. But they're really good with like debunking urban legends or pseudoscience or things that we just took for granted growing up and now have been disproven. Snopes.
Oh, wow.
So I snopesed it.
I love this. I'm so excited to learn this today.
Yeah, apparently brooms just do that.
Does it have a rounded tip?
I guess brooms have a low center of gravity, and it's not hard to actually get them to stand upright like that. It just looks crazy because no one ever does it.
On their bristles?
Yeah, on the bristles.
Wow. I can't wait to try this when I get home.
I'll show you after we finish recording.
Oh, yeah, please.
I felt so embarrassed because I tried it and I like filmed it because I was going to put it on Facebook. But then it was like kind of hilarious anyway because Nigel, my cat, came over and knocked it over, and then Ruchi ran in from the other room chasing after him. So I put it up anyway.
Well, that was
quite
definitely
dramatic.
The clips. The animals acting crazy.
I mean, I felt like I was a little crazy today. I know we caught up a little bit before we started recording, but I've had a fucking not a great day. I think it's just, work related, catching up on work after being out of town. I woke up stressed. I just felt like I couldn't get on top of anything, So I just started balancing brooms and fuck it.
Manchester City had a bad game.
Oh no.
I mean, they tied, which is better than losing, but it
bad
was
for
weird.
them.
And it started out super foggy. It was like crazy. You could hardly see the pitch. It was hard. They got a red card. They're playing with 10 men.
Oh wow. Did you get up early to watch that today?
No, luckily it was on at noon.
Okay.
So I didn't have to get up early. When they're on during the week, it's usually at noon.
You guys don't know this about Alison, but she is a dedicated football fan.
It's true.
She is known to get up at the crack of dawn to go to the local British pub and check out her soccer.
It's true. I realized the game on my birthday this year is at 4:30 in the morning. So
And you're pumped.
I will be up. I'll probably be up anyways because I'm just usually up at 4:30 in the morning now.
Yeah.
So it'll be fine.
Yeah. Poe, I hope you guys can hear him. He's snoring away in his little thing. What is that called again?
It's a Moby wrap.
A Moby wrap. It's so cute.
Soon he will, once he's bigger and can hold his head up, his legs stick out.
Aww.
And he sits right here.
I've seen people with the dog carriers like that. Have you seen that?
Yeah, and I've seen the dog strollers.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Well, that was the funny thing, you know, when we were first getting our stroller and we were like trying to get our dog acclimated, we were like, well, they were like recommending we walk around our neighborhood with just the dog and an empty stroller. And it was like, we won't be the only people in our neighborhood with an empty stroller. Most strollers in our neighborhood do not have babies in them.
Oh my God, it's so true. You'd fit right in.
I love Oakland.
Ditto. Except we didn't get to see the eclipse.
So foggy.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. It all comes back around to the fact that we're very glad to be here in the Blume cocoon with you guys. And we're starting Deenie.
Yes, I'm so excited about Deenie. About a beautiful girl.
It's about time we had a beautiful girl.
It's kind of true.
I mean, we've had I think Davey, like, we decided she was a babe.
Oh, yeah, Davey was a babe. But she was a little more rugged, you know, like, she had more attitude. Deanie's, like, a little more traditionally, like, I can't help it, I'm pretty.
Alison, so you haven't read Deenie before?
I had never read Deenie before. Weirdly enough, I hadn't even heard of it until we started doing the Blume Saloon. So I was really excited to start this one.
And you've done some research for us?
Done some 1973 research. I really want to set the scene. What a year. Like I said, there was a solar eclipse. It was also the year of Watergate.
Oh my God, yes.
The year the Vietnam War ended, at least for the U.S. I have some just random facts, and then we'll get into some of the top 10s. Aerosmith debuted their first album. We're getting into the, like, what is now known as classic rock kind of era, and a little more, like, psychedelic. Like, Deep Purple was really big, and
Pink Floyd. I think Dark Side of the Moon
was released. That's right. Elvis in Hawaii was filmed that year. It was the biggest telecast by a music person.
I haven't seen that or didn't know he did that.
I was like, it was kind of, I think, late Elvis, like weird Elvis. It was like Hawaiian themed performance. We've also got, Richard Nixon's second term began, but then also the whole Watergate scandal. Real corn jangle.
A corn jangle? Did you make that up? No.
I love the idea that, like, I would just make up phrases.
That would be so clever of you if you did, because corn jangle is just the best word I've ever heard.
No, it's one of my bosses is from Nebraska, and so it's a word he uses that I just felt like was so it really captures a situation.
And you're really good at picking up on those words that you want to use, keeping them in your pocket for an appropriate time. Like, I know that you're just going to bust out some of that Aussie slang that we went over last week.
Exactly. But so much of it is sexual.
Oh, yeah.
So I really want to...
wait for the perfect moment.
Yeah, exactly. Charlotte's Web, the movie, was released. Dark Side of the Moon. There was lots of problems between Ireland and the UK.
Oh, yeah.
IRA bombings.
And wasn't the Northern Ireland, they had like a referendum?
Yeah, the referendum.
To stay. That was that around that time?
Yes, you're exactly right. Wow, your history.
I've been watching that CNN documentary on the 70s, a different decade. So, like, certain things stick with me, certain things do not. Like, I totally didn't realize Watergate was 73, but...
yeah, Godfather won Best Picture. Thought that was kind of
the first one?
The first one. The World Trade Center was completed.
In New York? For some reason, I thought it was much older than that.
No.
Wow.
Pablo Picasso died.
Oh, wow.
Skylab, the first U.S. space station, was launched, but also Skylab 2, 3, and 4.
Just boom, boom, boom.
Went up that year to kind of like fix some things and bring some people up there.
Wow.
The DEA was founded.
Oh, boo. Yeah, jeez.
There was the tennis battle of the sexes. Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs, live TV, the biggest tennis telecast ever.
And she won, right?
She won.
Hell yeah.
And The Exorcist was released.
Oh,
more on that later, but I feel like, 13-year-old kids watching The Exorcist. Horrifying.
That would have been the movie to see.
Oh, yeah.
All these little 7th grade boys taking their dates to see The Exorcist.
Yeah, some awkward hand-holding, I'm sure. Music.
Mm-hmm.
Carly Simon was huge in 1973.
Mm-hmm.
You're So Vain was top of the charts. So is Stevie Wonder's Superstition. It's big. Elton John, Crocodile Rock.
This is the beginning of good music.
Well, this is like the 70s as you kind of think of the
Right,
70s.
right.
Like the early 70s and some of the other books we've done was really just like a weird continuation of the 60s.
So
and like
true.
a weird ending to the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
This is very much like becoming its own decade now.
It's like the best decade for music.
Oh, yeah. I would buy these cassette tapes at the grocery store that were for different decades.
Oh, yeah.
And the 70s one was really good. I remember it had like disco stuff on it, but like also classic rock stuff. And it was a fun tape.
And the birth of punk, the birth of hip hop, I mean, a little later in the 70s, but...
No, but it all kind of branched out from here. Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly was a big song. I have bad news.
No.
Donny and Marie Osmond that went solo and really were hitting the top of the charts.
I was just flipping through the 70s magazines that we have here in the Blume Cocoon and realizing just how much of these magazines are dedicated to the Osmonds, and Donny and Marie specifically.
I didn't know what powerhouses they were.
I didn't either. I feel like maybe we should have a little segment. Not every week, but whenever we feel like it. And it's like a Donny Marie check-in, and we can read out some fun facts. I read an article just now about how the children of the Osmond family weren't allowed to date until they were 16. Oh. So when it was Marie's turn to, come of age, she was the only girl in the family. So everybody was really protective of her. And it was a big deal when she went on her first date. And Donny, being a year and a half older, he had to give his nod of approval.
What? How's that allowed?
I don't know.
The Beatles were also going solo.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Paul McCartney and Wings. George Harrison had some great stuff. My favorite Beatle. And Ringo, too.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, John Lennon was kind of absent.
Really?
From the charts. Carpenters were big.
Oh.
Yeah, Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water was big that year. And Todd Rundgren. Do you know Todd Rundgren? I love Todd Rundgren.
Give me a little bit. Like, what is he?
Hello, it's me. I was in it for a long, long while.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, for some reason. I don't know.
It's in the Virgin Suicide soundtrack.
So was he a solo artist or was he part of a band?
He was a solo artist.
Okay. Got to check him out.
Steve Miller Band, The Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Big song.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Barry White and Al Green, too.
Yeah, and that seems to be a little bit more of a overflow of the 60s sound too, right? Like the soul,
Yeah, I think so. I think it was starting to kind of... Well, and Stevie Wonder was really big.
He kept going, yeah. Yeah.
Into the late 70s.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
It was.
For music. Not for much else. I think it was a similar tumultuous time in our nation's history.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Watergate, Nixon, Spiro Agnew.
Leisure Suit Larry. I went home and was like, James, Leisure Suit Larry. And he was like, my dad played.
His dad?
His dad
Amazing.
Played. And he would like sometimes watch.
He never played himself,
No.
though. I guess if you can watch your dad play, you don't need to go. That's awesome. So did he remember the questions at the beginning?
No, because he didn't have to sign in.
Well, I found there is a whole compilation of the Leisure Suit Larry questions online, and I bookmarked it because we have to come back and do a quiz on that.
Oh, yeah.
Because the answers are really like witty and funny and kind of tongue in cheek. So it's not just a straightforward like trivia quiz. It's pretty hilarious.
That sounds great.
And Spiro Agnew, he shows up like 5 times. They love Spiro Agnew.
Well, it is a great name. The top 10 movies of 1973. I'm going to go in order from top to bottom. Okay. The Sting. Have you seen that?
No.
It's great. Robert Redford and Paul Newman, and they're like poker players. It's good.
Talk about the golden age of film.
Oh, so much good Robert Redford. There's more on this list.
Okay.
Number 2, The Exorcist.
Yeah.
American Graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great movie.
That was filmed...
Petaluma.
Yeah.
Papillon.
I have not seen Papillon.
No, but it sounds great. The Way We Were. Robert Redford and Barbara Streisand.
I know of it. I haven't seen it either.
Oh, you'll cry. It's good. It's like Love Story, but like more grown up.
Okay.
Magnum Force. Last Tango in Paris. Very controversial.
Jesus, that movie shocked me when I first saw it.
I've never seen it. I've just like read all the horror stories.
Yeah, you should watch it.
Ooh.
I thought it was a good film, but I think reading about it afterwards, like the horror stories you've heard, made me think twice about how it was made. And poor Maria Schneider, the main actress, she was so young and really taken advantage of. And then old Marlon Brando.
But not old Marlon Brando. That's Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a movie I love. And the documentary about it is one of the best things I've ever seen.
You turned me on to that. And after you told me about it, I was like, gotta watch it. It was fucking good.
The parts about Marlon Brando wearing the pot on his head. And then also having all of his lines piped in through the radio. And then it getting crossed with police scanners and just saying what the police scanners were saying. Not being able to distinguish his lines from police scanners.
I forgot about that. The one part that really got me was when the cast members like tried to escape.
Farouja Balk was
was
at the airport trying to leave, and they went and got her.
And then the people who played all like the crazy monsters and creatures, right? Didn't they have like, it was like Burning Man for them, like party, bacchanal, right?
And then the director that they fired like snuck back on the set as one of the crazy monsters.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm giving away all the good stuff, but it's still totally worth watching.
Is it called Lost Soul? Lost Soul, the doomed journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yes.
Do you think people should watch that before watching the Island of Dr. Moreau? Or flip it?
Do both. Watch the Island of Dr. Moreau, watch the documentary, and then watch the Island of Dr. Moreau again.
Sandwich it.
Suffer through it again. Val Kilmer, like, losing his mind. Looking good. Mm-hmm. That was, like, hot Val Kilmer. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Number 8.
Oh, by the way.
Live and Let Die. Is that a Bond movie?
Think so.
Robin Hood was number 9. I don't know which one it is, though. Maybe the animated.
Yeah, it must have been. Because the only other one I know is Men in Tights, right? And
that was like, the 90s.
Yeah,
And number 10 was Paper Moon.
Oh, another, what's his name? That man.
Robert Redford?
No, from Love Story.
Ryan O'Neal.
Ryan O'Neal. And his daughter.
Oh,
Tatum. Didn't she win?
Isn't that his sister? Or is it his daughter?
Tatum's his daughter. And they starred in it together. And she won an Academy Award, maybe? I'll have to look into that one.
I hope that's like wildly inaccurate just so that we can correct it later. Not because I want you to be wrong. It's like...
No, she's definitely his daughter because...
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, now that I think about it, she's definitely like that much younger.
Yeah. Her best friend for a while was... what's her name?
Drew Barrymore?
No, Melanie Griffith.
Oh.
And Melanie Griffith was like a year or two older than her, so she was slightly more experienced and like a wild child, kind of crazy girl. And Melanie Griffith became really close with the O'Neal family, Tatum and her dad, and she started dating her friend's dad.
No.
Ryan O'Neal. Yes, they were together. Full-on relationship. Uh-huh. Tatum O'Neal, she was like 13, was brought to Paris, I think during the filming of Last Tango in Paris, and Maria, what's her name, the star of that movie, was also friends with Melanie Griffith, and they had some kind of like, apparently there's a story about like an opium-fueled orgy, multiple people in a hotel room, and Tatum O'Neal was there, and she was a teenager. Fucked up.
Can't wait to read about this in the middle of the night tonight while I'm breastfeeding. And just like need something to kill the time.
And you can just sit there and be glad you're not raising a child in the 70s.
Yeah. No, because I'll just be like, now screen time. That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Instead of crazy opium-fueled orgies.
Right.
Could be so much worse.
I know.
TV.
Oh.
Very similar to the early 70s, though, I gotta say. TV had not made the flip yet. Because number 1 was All in the Family.
Yeah.
Number 2 was The Waltons. 3, Sanford and Son. 4, MASH. Hawaii Five-0. Maude. Do you know what Maude was?
That was a spin-off of, I think, the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Oh, Mary Tyler Moore was number 9. The coolest one. I'm not even going to talk about the rest because they're lame.
Okay.
The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour.
I've never seen that.
Ooh.
You have?
Yeah, I really love Cher. Like, Cher is one of my favorite people.
She seems like a great lady.
Yeah, you have to Google Cher and the Troll on YouTube.
Okay.
Or just search it on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And it's a great, 15-second clip of just magic.
Cher and the Troll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Steven Ingert. Turned me on to that video.
Okay. You know, if it came from Steven, it's going to be worth clicking on.
He's one of those internet wizards that just, finds the best stuff.
He won't send you shit. It'll always be good. Maude was B. Arthur.
Oh.
And it was one of those Norman Lear shows. Okay, it was a spinoff of All in the Family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which was number 1.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Man, killing it.
So that is what I got on 1973.
So do you want to hear about some celebrities that were born in 1960 who would be the same age as Deenie?
Of course I do.
And they would now be 57 years old.
Oh, wow.
RuPaul.
Aw.
Jane Lynch.
Ooh.
Julianne Moore. Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh, okay.
Kathy Griffin. Jennifer Grey. And Daryl Hannah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think we always, whenever we do this, it's always kind of surprising that these people are all the same age.
Because people from the different eras.
Uh-huh.
I don't think of Jane Lynch in the same vein of Jennifer Grey because they were popular at such different times.
Right. And Julianne Moore to me seems like she'd be a lot younger.
She just seems timeless.
Yeah. I watched Boogie Nights again the other day. So I could watch that over and over. I love so much.
That movie.
Mm-hmm. And then some men were Hugh Grant, Scott Baio, Sean Penn, another timeless one to me, David Duchovny, John Schneider, your computer date mate.
Right.
Damon Wayans, who seems so young. He does not seem 57 years old. And, David Miscavige.
Oh.
Ew.
There's a great Scientology documentary on Netflix right now. With the guy that's doing the impersonations, he's hired actors.
Yes. What's his name? Richard Theroux.
Yeah.
Him.
Louis.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He hires kind of C-grade actors who are actually really good.
The David Miscavige actor is really good.
Yeah. And the guy who plays Tom Cruise.
It's so bizarre and so good.
I can't think of the name of that documentary though, can you?
No.
But you guys look it up.
We'll tell you on Facebook.
Okay. Should we do dedication or roll call first?
Dedication.
Okay, dedication. Judy dedicated this book to...
Sorry, Poe wants to join in on the fun.
He's a natural. Judy dedicated this book to Janie Horowitz, who's been there, she said. So dug into it a little more. Judy had met a 14-year-old girl and her mother, and the girl was already wearing a back brace for scoliosis. And she had adjusted to it seemingly fine, but it was her mother who was distraught and in tears. And Judy was really struck by that, how it's the mother that seemed to be the most affected by this.
Well, we've certainly got an affected mother in this book.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So then Judy thought, well, maybe I should write a book about parental expectations.
Ooh.
So we can see where this is going.
Yeah.
Because that ma, she is one mother.
And my character list, I just wrote next to the ma, oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
And now it's time for roll call. Roll call! Hey, our voices sound very nice together.
It was harmonic. My sister just found a bunch of home videos of us singing karaoke when I was in 7th grade, and I would say it's not. It's really awful. It was so painful to watch.
Was it a home karaoke machine?
Oh yeah, we were really, really into the home karaoke machine.
Yeah.
My sister even had a wireless mic for it. She would come from upstairs to downstairs singing. But yeah, this is from a vacation, and it's just me singing Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way, and it was just giant braces. It was the most horrible thing I've ever seen.
Did you dance too?
Oh yeah, I was doing a lot of hand moves, a lot of gesturing, and a lot of like it's kind of spastic head tilting as well. And my family better believe I'm going to be a star.
We didn't have a karaoke machine when I was that age, but we would definitely get up the video camera, set it on a tripod, and just film ourselves lip syncing to Paul Simon's Call Me Al. There's like 3 different times where
I would love to see
did
this.
The entire Call Me Al, and my dancing is like doing the Grapevine.
I did a lot of Grapevine because I did a lot of Tina Turner impressions when I was young. And she does look like the best Grapevine you'd ever saw. Yeah, she would just do a lot of it on stage.
Like
with
really
her high
fast
heels,
Grapevine?
Like really...
Okay, not like slow Grapevine like I did with Paul Simon.
Slow Grapevine. No, it was like super fast.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling, like, yeah.
I can see it.
This is a podcast, but I'm doing really cool hand moves.
She's rolling. So, rolling, roll call. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, we're back.
So we read chapters 1 through 3 here, and there are a lot of characters, but mostly because there's a lot of character mentions. We don't actually meet a lot of these characters. So we've got Deenie, Fenner.
Wilma Dean,
named after a movie her mom saw before she was born.
Sounds like it was a TV movie.
It's Splendor in the Grass.
Oh, it is? You knew? Oh, wow.
I found a little bit where Judy explained that.
Oh,
it's
cool.
one of her favorite movies.
Oh, I did not think about that. I totally just assumed it was like a weird TV movie.
Or like a fake movie Judy made up. Mm-hmm. She's 13. She's in 7th grade. And I remember her being a lot older when I read this. I thought she was at least a sophomore in high school. She's Tony Miglione's age.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because she's definitely at a different maturity level.
Yeah.
But I think it is the difference between girls and boys at 13.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So we got Ma. That's her mom.
Thelma.
Dad/daddy. I don't know his name. Pa. I think she doesn't call him Pa, though. I think she calls Ma, and then Dad.
I thought you had to call him Mom.
Right.
Pa.
I mean, it's a rule. Helen is her older, brainy sister who reminds me a lot of Janine, Claudia Kishi's older sister from Babysitter's Club. The brainiac.
She's got the brains.
Mm-hmm. Buddy Brader, cute boy in 8th grade.
He sounds great.
I have a crush on him already. Old Lady Murray.
I love that you wrote that down.
With her hunchback and her newsstand.
There's a lot of, and I think it'll come back. It's a bit of foreshadowing, but there's a lot of talk about weird disabled people.
And ugly shaming.
Yeah.
Just being grossed out by unattractive people.
Right, but I think we're supposed to feel that way
right.
and think like, man, Deenie, like you're judgmental and terrible, but it's also hard to read.
Right. Midge and Janet, those are Deenie's BFFs.
Love Midge and Janet.
They're such good sidekicks, and those names, you cannot beat them.
Best names.
Aunt Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know too much about her, but
I assume she's Thelma's sister because they're so close.
Yeah, exactly. So
we just know she's like eggs on Thelma's bad mothering.
Exactly. Mrs. Allison.
Mm-hmm.
Your namesake. She's the model talent lady.
Yeah, she's the modeling agent.
We've got Harvey Grabowski.
Great name.
Yes. He is the hottest guy in school, and he's in 9th grade, so a little unattainable.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me of Bruce from Sweet Valley.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the football team. He's class president.
There were these twins when I was in 7th grade that were in 9th grade that I thought were just like, so cool.
Yeah.
And then when I was in 9th grade, I dated one of them when they were a junior.
Whoa.
Got my first kiss.
Whoa.
But they like weren't that cool then. But
they hit their peak when they were in 9th grade.
Yeah, I still have that memory of like, ooh, like I never talked to 9th graders when I was in 7th grade. They were just like so unattainable.
Myra Woodruff, and that's Helen's bestie, and Helen is the older sister, and they both have pimples and oily hair.
Mm-hmm.
Gina
Courtney.
Gina Courtney, and we'll get more about her in a bit. Susan Minton, And that's Deenie's obsessed fan.
I wrote down she's her single white female.
I read that too. She really is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think single white female was inspired by this character.
I hope so.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, that high heel.
The
in
high
the
heel?
eye.
I don't remember what happens.
That's how the single white female kills her roommate's boyfriend. She stabs him in the eye with a high heel.
Jesus.
Oh, such a good movie.
Susan Minton. She's probably got like her jelly sandal and she's going to slap someone over the head with it.
Yeah, I went to school with a girl named Kara Minton, which is a name I've never heard otherwise. And so to see it here was really striking to me. Brought back a lot of memories.
Oh no, Karen Minton. And then we've got Mrs. Rappaport, Mr. Delphone, and Mrs. Anderson. And they are the 3 judges at the cheerleading tryouts. And Mrs. Rappaport is the girls' gym teacher. Mr. Delphone is the boys' gym teacher. And Mrs. Anderson is the vice principal.
Right.
And I kind of feel like they'll come back. Teachers always come back in Judy books.
Oh, yeah. And the vice principal for sure, because there's like the note about all she ever does is like deal with people that get in trouble. And they make them wait a long time outside of her room.
I think Deenie's going to find herself in some trouble at some point.
Uh-oh.
Ugh. So I think that's all I got. Did I miss any?
No, that was great. All right. We open chapter 1. I'm just going to read it.
Yeah.
Because it's just so good. My mother named me Deenie because right before I was born, she saw a movie about a beautiful girl named Wilma Dean, who everybody called Deenie for short. Ma says the first time she held me, she knew right away that if she named me Deenie, I would turn out the same way. Beautiful, that is. I was only 4 hours old then. It took me almost 13 years to find out what really happened to the Deenie in the movie. She went crazy and wound up in the funny farm.
The funny farm is really good.
Yeah. I just, it really sets the whole, like, you understand Deenie's mom's expectations.
Yeah.
And that she thinks that if she names her daughter a certain name, that she'll turn out beautiful, and then she can ride on that beautiful wave.
Those beautiful coattails.
Yeah, exactly. Deenie just watched the movie Splendor in the Grass, we've just learned.
Yeah.
And even Helen watched it. And there's a Deenie and Bud in the movie, which we learn. And so it's funny because Deenie actually has a crush on a guy named Buddy Brader. So they could be
the
Deenie
real
and Bud.
life.
So it's Saturday morning. Deenie and her mom are headed to New York City for an appointment with a modeling agency. That's what they do on Saturdays. Deanie's like, other kids sleep in. I go to New York City with my mom for weird modeling appointments. And the first time that they did this, they went to basically a Barbizon.
I love this description.
You know, actually, I went to one of those places
You
once.
did not.
Yeah, it was like on the radio. They were like, oh, it's like a model search. And my 2 like best friends were going. And like my mom was like, yeah, why don't we? It's like free. Like it's called like Model Search America.
So legitimate sounding.
And you can go and you'll get like discovered. And this is how certain like, oh, these people like random like C-list celebrities had gotten discovered. And so I went with like my 2 best friends and they have like a little tryout. Like you go in and then
You do a model walk?
you do like a model walk and then they decide if you can leave or if you can stay. We all got to stay and then we could sign up for modeling lessons and pay all this money and then we could get discovered.
They're like, we'll do your headshots. We'll teach you how to walk, etiquette, poise, all the stuff.
All that stuff. And so I did not do that. But my 2 best friends
They
did.
did?
And they went and they like walked in a weird like catwalk show in like Cleveland and like paid all the money to do it. And of course like nothing ever came of it. So I like really wanted to, of course, because I wanted to get discovered and be a famous model.
Who doesn't?
Right? But now they go to real modeling agencies. Ma and Aunt Ray have like figured it out.
The agencies pay you. You don't pay them. I gotcha.
Right. And so they're on the bus on their way to New York City. And of course, like, Ma's like telling everyone what they're going to do and how Deenie's so beautiful and how Deenie's got the looks and Helen's got the brains.
Well, they tell this to the bus driver who's like,
Cool.
I don't know your family, but sure, Helen's got the brains.
So they're going to meet with Mrs. Allison.
Oh, wait. Sorry to keep interrupting, but
No.
can we just talk about old lady Murray?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I
feel
was
like this is
skipping
a very
over that.
important
I was
part.
a little traumatized.
She's the old lady who runs the newspaper stand or the magazine stand by the bus stop. So
Deenie doesn't like to look at her.
no, because this woman has a hunchback.
My great grandma Midget, like I said,
Grandma
that had
Midget.
osteoporosis. She had a little hunchback.
It happens, but Deenie is disgusted.
Like you would think it's like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. She's just like, oh, awful.
You can even see it through her clothes. And
hide, you monster.
she's like, I wish it were winter so she would at least wear a jacket over that hump. I mean,
Oh my god.
what a snob.
Yeah, but I mean, Deanie's mother obviously,
Instilled that in her.
this like super judgmental nature.
Yeah, it doesn't come from out of nowhere.
They go to the appointment with Mrs. Allison, the talent agent. They're like sitting in the, their
Waiting room.
waiting room, and Deenie like talks to this other girl and is like, are you a model? And she's like, yeah, and it's actually hard work. So
It is. I mean, we've watched America's Top Model. We know.
it is hard work. The like little bit of amateur modeling that I did in college,
I didn't know about this.
I went to art school.
Uh-huh.
So you help your friends and do some weird amateur
Oh.
modeling.
Like life drawing kind of modeling? Or
No, just like if they were photography students, they needed subjects. So there's some real weird photos of me.
I can imagine you like posing in like some shadows. And...
There's like one of me like in a pool, like laying in the water. There's one of me in a tree. They're really, I'm actually maybe post these on the Facebook.
That's very artsy. I would love to see these.
Yeah, they're magical. It was actually hard because you do have to hold kind of still and have good posture. Or neither one things I like to do. So they go to the appointment with Mrs. Allison. Deenie has her portfolio, which her mother brings, which is basically like a binder full of pictures, and it starts with a baby picture because Deenie won some kind of contest when she was a baby. That's the last time she was a professional model.
And she's so embarrassed by this.
Oh my god, it sounds awful. And then she does like her walk around the room. She's got a funny walk.
Yeah, something a little off about it.
What's that about? So Mrs. Allison says, I like you, you're beautiful, but I'm going to have to think about it. And after that, she goes out to lunch with her mom, and her mom is mad. She's like, you did a funny walk on purpose. You're sabotaging your modeling career. She's like, Mom, I swear I didn't. But I've got a great quote here that I'd like to read. So they're sitting at lunch, and Deanie's mom says, Deenie, God gave you a beautiful face. Now, he wouldn't have done that if he hadn't intended for you to put it to good use.
Wow.
What? So you're pretty, you have to be a model?
Right. This made me think a lot about sisters and how parents can compare. Like, we both come from families of two sisters, right? And you're the oldest one, and so am I. And I mean, I wouldn't say that our mom ever pigeonholed us so distinctly like that, but there's always the sense that Rosie's the scholar, Rosie's the smart one, you're the creative one, you do the drawing. But I think looking back on it, it's probably hard not to as a parent.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I've heard. The good thing about having three is that you kind of stop comparing one to the other. Yeah. And you kind of throw your hands up and are like, you know, like they're just all themselves.
They're all
but when you have two,
unique.
you're constantly like, what did I do wrong with this one that I didn't do with this one? And comparing them.
Can you think back at how you guys might have been pigeonholed?
Oh yeah. So I was the more scholarly, like just the more on paper kind of.
Yeah, that was my sister.
Yeah, person. And my sister was the performer. Was like a really amazing singer and dancer.
With her wireless karaoke headset.
Oh yeah, she like really has something. And I like was so mad because that's like what I wanted to be. But it was like, no, like keep doing school.
Right. Thankfully, it never caused any kind of rifts. Did it with you guys?
Yeah, probably a little bit.
I mean, no, not to say we didn't like fight and bicker, but I don't think there was like a jealousy on that terms. But also, We're like 6 years apart.
Right.
So that's different.
No, they say that like the longer the age difference is actually really good because you're less likely to be competitive with one another. Mm-hmm. Whereas like a 2.5 years, like right in line with being super competitive.
And you can potentially be in the same school, in the same high school together, or have the same group of friends.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
Oh yeah, my sister married my junior high bully.
That's right. I remember you telling me about this. What did he called you a name, didn't he?
Well, he would tell me to cry.
Oh, that's right.
Be like, cry, bitch, cry.
What a fucker.
It's terrible. He's really apologized. And I shouldn't keep bringing it up because the rest of my family's like, you were mean to Alison. He's like, how? Like, do I have to live this forever? And I would say yes. But,
he kind of does.
Apparently, he doesn't want to.
I mean, if he's a good guy now, he can be forgiven.
He is. He is the father of her children.
All right, we'll let that slide. That's funny. Despite like the age difference between me and my sister, I met Tyler through her.
Right.
Because he used to work at this skate shop, the Van skate shop, and they had a little skate park in there. And my sister's high school was right next door. So when he was working there, probably in his like late teens, early 20s, my sister was a young high schooler.
I love this.
They would come over to the Van skate shop after school and flirt with all the dudes who worked there. And Tyler was one of them. And then when I moved to Houston, like 10 years later, my sister was like, she knew we were going to meet through mutual friends. And she was like, I have the feeling you and Tyler are really going to like each other. And I was like, ooh, I'm down.
Oh, I like that.
All right, now chapter 2. So Deenie's foot hurts. I don't know why I thought this was really funny, but her toe hurts because she's been walking around New York City all day.
Well, I love her mom said that because she wears tennis shoes too much, her feet spread out, and so they can't fit into like high heels or like other shoes because she wears tennis shoes. Is that really a thing?
I've heard that you can get flat feet from wearing certain types of shoes, not tennis. I mean, I always thought it was just like flats, like ballet flats are really bad for your feet.
Right, and flip-flops.
Because your arches will collapse.
Right.
But yeah, I just think it's funny that Deenie's mom...
Snopes.
Yeah, Snopes. Dear Snopes, do sneakers make your feet fat? So Deenie's suffering from some kind of shoe repercussions, so she's soaking her foot in a tub. And when I was reading this, I was like, that sounds lovely. I'd like to put my feet in some warm water right now.
I can't wait to take a bath.
And then her two BFFs, Midge and Janet, they each individually call her, like one after another, to fill her in on the latest goss.
I love this.
So what had happened earlier that day while Deenie was in the city with her mom, Midge and Janet went to Woolworths, and Janet tried on orange lipstick and brown eyeshadow.
Without buying anything.
Without buying it.
But that is the most 70s makeup ever.
And then this is like a fun fact about Janet. She's just the best at going into stores and trying stuff on without buying her.
She never gets caught.
No.
Which now is like not a thing. Like you can try whatever you want.
Definitely go to Sephora and like have your way with that lipstick.
Yeah.
And then also they saw Harvey Grabowski in Woolworths and followed him around the entire store, and he didn't notice them. And he bought 3 ballpoint pens and some Scotch tape.
That killed me.
There's something about these Judy books where people are always going to stores and buying school supplies.
She loves school supply shopping.
Mean, so do we, right?
It's true. We are stationary heads.
Yeah. And then even more exciting, Janet got to stand next to Harvey and got to touch his shirt sleeve. And Deenie's having major FOMO.
That was like another favorite part, is that she couldn't believe she missed out on this opportunity to be like adjacent to Harvey.
So then Monday morning, Deenie wants to look her best because dun dun dun, it's the day of cheerleading tryouts.
So exciting.
I'm so excited because I've always secretly wanted to be a cheerleader.
Did you ever try out?
I did as a grown-up. In San Francisco, there is an adult cheer squad called Cheer SF, And they're fucking amazing. They're better than any high
they
school
do all
or
the
college.
pyramids and the flips. And
They fly so high, and they do it all on concrete because their whole thing is they tour and they perform at like Pride Fests and different outdoor venues, but like on the sidewalk.
That's crazy.
So I swear they're better than any kind of competition cheering I've ever seen. They're amazing. And they're all, in between the ages of, I'd say, 22 and 40.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of the dudes are flyers, these little guys.
Uh-huh.
So I first saw them when I moved to San Francisco and went to my first Pride there and just fell in love and watched them for hours. And then they had tryouts rolling around like the next spring. So I roped my friend Vivian into trying out with me. And the tryouts were like in public. They were in a park, Justin Herman Plaza.
Oh, wow.
Which, you guys, is like right on the Embarcadero of San Francisco. Tourist Central. So we had hundreds of people standing around watching. And I thought maybe, I had a chance because I had done gymnastics and I could still do a back handspring. And,
you could still do a back handspring?
Probably not these days, but at that time I could.
Wow.
This was a few years ago. I used to do drunk back handsprings quite a bit.
Oh, wow.
It's
I
been
always
a while.
wanted to be able to do back handspring and never could. I took gymnastics and never got the back handspring.
So they put me in the group to be a flyer because I had some tumbling experience and I wasn't strong enough to be a base anyway. And I was the only flyer who was auditioned who hadn't been a cheerleader before, like a real cheerleader. Oh. So everyone like already knew how to count to 4 and do all these things. I was just clueless, bumbling around. My poor bases, I was there to help them look good. And they were all so mad at me because I didn't know what I was doing. And then we had to learn a dance routine. And as we've discussed, I'm the worst dancer.
Oh, man.
So that was terrible and mortifying. But I was also really proud of myself for just doing it. And then they were like, okay, come back tomorrow when we'll do the real tryouts. I was like, what? You mean this wasn't the real tryouts?
That was just where they were teaching the moves. And you had to
just
go home and practice. And then, yeah. I tried out for cheerleading a few times in school.
Yeah.
And it was always like a week-long thing where you like had to learn the moves, then you practice the moves, then you...
They do like a clinic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I never made cheerleading despite trying out a few times. So I always went to the default backup dance team.
Oh, yeah. Well, the school I went to in Dallas in high school, the dance team was like the elite. They were the top dogs.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No. It's definitely everyone that didn't make cheerleading. Oh. And they were not very discriminating. Wore really weird outfits. But I was really into making, the 2-minute mixes or whatever.
Mega mixes?
The mega mixes. And like getting all the sounds and like recording them from the CDs on my boombox to the tape. And I did a lot of the mixes. And like you'd find the best like explosion to end on.
Oh my
or
God.
like the weird like little like talking parts, like the...
And now it's time for breakdown.
Exactly. So mine were like always a little funkier, like I would be like, oh, I have groove is in the heart, like let's use a part from that. And like
this is so amazing.
Yeah, I wish I could find some, but that was what I was like. I would do that for like hours.
Allison's mega mixes.
I was like a regular girl talk.
Yes, you were. Yes. I mean, that's hard to do on cassette.
Oh, it was timing. You didn't want to mess anything up.
I can just see you like with both hands on the play and pause button of the 2 different tape decks, like boom, 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 going back and forth.
Oh, yeah, and then the CDs and go at like 13 seconds, and it's like that part.
God, that's awesome.
That was my experience. Because I couldn't do any back handsprings. If I could have stuck a back handspring, maybe I would have made cheerleading.
I would still love to be a cheerleader. I'm not gonna lie. Anywho, Deenie wants to be a cheerleader too, and she really wants to look good on this day of tryouts because being good looking really comes in handy at times like this. I mean, she knows she's hot. And then we learn a little more about Midge, who I think is awesome. Midge
is the coolest.
She's the only girl Deenie knows that isn't trying out for cheerleading because Midge would rather play football. Yes, girl, yes. And Midge has already planned this out. When she gets to 9th grade, if they don't let her try out for football, she's going to sue the school for sexual discrimination. And then I just quickly looked up Title IX because I was like, oh, is this a thing then? And Title IX had just come into effect the year before. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So she could have.
Yeah, she really could have.
It's great.
Yeah. So Deenie knows her mom would not be happy if she made the squad because the games are on Saturdays, and Saturdays, as we know, are the days that Ma drags Deenie to all her Barbizons.
Barbizon appointments.
Yeah. And then we get a bit about Mom making Deenie some breakfast for that morning, and it's orange juice and a boiled egg, and Ma controls, apparently, Deanie's diet so that she won't get pimples or oily hair. It's very important to Ma because Helen has pimples and oily hair, but it doesn't matter because she's the brains.
Exactly. As Aunt Ray says, she's going through an awkward phase.
Right. As if Deanie's not going to get there too.
Right.
You don't control pimples and oily hair by your diet. Well, maybe you can, but it's never worked for me.
No, I think it's all hormones then.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have a bit about Deenie going to school. She describes their transportation system.
Right.
Our town doesn't have school buses, except for the one that picks up the handicapped kids. They come to our school from all over because we have a special class, in all caps, special class.
Yeah.
Gina Courtney, who lives on my street, takes that bus. We were in first grade together until her accident. She was hit by a delivery truck. Now she wears braces on her legs, and she's blind in one eye. I always feel funny when I pass her house, like I should stop and say hello, but then I think I better not, because I wouldn't know how to act or anything. Ugh. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us thought along those lines when we were that age. Maybe.
Yeah.
God, looking back, that's so horrible. This poor girl. She was in an accident and now she's, lost friends because no one knows what to say.
I think it's just some bad parenting.
Yeah.
Like not trying to keep up that friendship.
Right.
She's down the street and like not treat her differently because something bad happened to her.
Deanie's mom, she's missing a lot of parenting moments here.
Mm-hmm.
So Deenie and her pals, Midge and Janet, they get on the bus. Janet has a raw chicken's foot for luck instead of a rabbit's foot because
killed me.
Because rabbits aren't kosher.
Right. Her father's a kosher butcher.
Yeah.
And so for luck, for the cheerleading competition, she brings a raw chicken foot. Sounds great.
And then there's this whole bit about like the grossness of her dad's butcher shop, which we don't need to get into because it makes me feel sick.
No, it was pretty gross.
And then they go to school, they go to homeroom, and Susan Minton is waiting at Deanie's desk. And if you remember, Susan Minton is the single white female.
Mm-hmm.
She copies Deanie's hairstyles. She copies her clothes.
Mm-hmm.
She tells Deenie, people think we look alike.
Right. Oh, people think we look alike.
And Deanie's like, you wish, bitch.
Yeah, I don't think Deanie's particularly sweet.
I think she's kind of a mean girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so Susan fawns over Deenie and says, everyone thinks you're going to make the squad. Deanie's like, whatever.
But also but I'll take it.
Yeah. And then at lunch, Deenie talks about the cafeteria scene, which is always fun.
I loved this, and I knew you'd love it too.
Uh-huh. So Harvey Grabowski, he sits like a king at his special table, and he never waits in line or online.
Yeah.
Online. He never
Very
waits
East Coast.
online for his lunch. What he does is he has a team of these minion girls that are just happy to wait online to get his lunch for him. Definitely real Bruce from Sweet Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you see him doing that too? And Deenie thinks this is all pretty ridiculous. She would never do that for Harvey. But then she's like, but maybe for Buddy, if he asked very nicely and if he had a
broken leg.
Yeah. Speaking of Buddy, as Deenie sits down to her table, Buddy calls out to her, hey, Deenie. And then she tosses her hair like Deenie in the movie and she goes,
yeah.
Oh, hi, Buddy. But then she's too embarrassed. Her face turns bright red, so she kind of ignores him. But Buddy stares at her all through lunch.
I love the hair shake.
Yeah, just tossing it like a shampoo commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Probably thinking you're looking really sexy, but
it's probably really
looking
awkward.
Really, yeah.
A little jerky.
Yeah. And then that's the end of chapter 2. And then chapter 3 is pretty short. At 3 o'clock, school's out, and it's time for tryouts.
It's time for checking yourself out in the bathroom, making yourself look real good.
Right, because that's what all the girls are doing right now. Except for Deenie. What does she do? Oh, yeah. She says, when I passed the special class, they were lining up to leave, so I looked the other way. They give me a creepy feeling. I'm always scared Gina Courtney will see me and say something and I won't know what to say back.
I hate this.
I really hate this too. And the special class, I'm assuming that's like a special ed class.
Mm-hmm.
But Gina, her disability at this point is purely physical. Are they just putting any kid who's different in any way and lumping them all together into this special class?
I hope not. I mean, maybe she just needs more help.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the mobility issues would make things tougher, but I don't know. To me, it seems like they're kind of sweeping everyone into a...
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I don't like the separation.
Right. I wonder if... Do schools do that these days?
I think that they do, but I think it's probably a little more discreet and just people get a little more help. Mm-hmm. And I think they probably try to integrate the classrooms a little bit more. Yeah.
At my school in Melbourne, we had a deaf integration program and there were like a good handful of deaf girls in every grade and they were fully integrated into our classrooms and some of them had interpreters.
That's awesome.
Some of them didn't. Yeah, it was really cool. Okay, so Deenie and Janet, they go to the auditorium and there's tons of girls waiting to try out. And then they take a look at the judges. And like we said earlier in roll call, Mrs. Rappaport, that's the gym teacher, Mr. Delphone, and Miss Anderson. And you guys, competition is tough.
Because only 6 people actually make it and only 1 7th grader.
Yes, 1 7th grader, 2 8th graders, and 3 9th graders. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Jesus.
Yeah.
The stakes are high. So they go in alphabetical order. Alice Applebaum. Love that name.
I love that name too. I wrote it down. I was like, this is such a bit part, but I love Alice Applebaum.
She sounds like a cartoon character. Like she should be in the Smurfs or something.
Or a Wes Anderson movie.
Oh, yeah. That's it. And so her cheer happens to be the same cheer Deenie's going to do. This reminded me a lot of Bring It On.
Oh, yeah. But, Deenie gets able to pick up some tips from her.
And Alice is actually really good. And then when it's Deenie's turn, she squeezes hands with Janet and she gets to do her stuff. And I wanted to read you the cheer.
Oh, yeah. I was really hoping you would.
I'm going to recite it in the way that I am envisioning that this is said.
Oh, God. Thank you.
But I'm not going to do it too loud because Poe is sleeping so beautifully right now. So I'll just whisper it.
Makes it sound even better.
I'm going to do a whisper cheer for you. A-D-A-M-S, A-D-A-M-S, Adams, junior high, yeah, team.
Wow, I feel like our listeners who are into ASMR are really going to like that.
That has been coming up in conversation so much for me recently, so I actually looked that up the other day, and I found this ASMR Ikea ad. Have you seen it?
No.
It was so wonderful. I watched it 3 times.
Oh my God. No, I'm obsessed with the ones that are, I mean, I don't actually watch them, but this is like even a thing, the haircuts.
Oh, what?
It's they're like, oh, I'm snipping your hair. And they like do the sounds and it's like, oh, just do a little trim over here. Oh, it looks really good on you.
Oh, you missed a spot. Can you get my bangs? Thank you. It looks really good.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my split ends are gone. Thanks. Okay.
So that was cool.
So the finalists are announced. And you know what? Deenie doesn't make it.
Nope.
I was totally expecting her to make it.
I was too. I thought, oh, okay, well, here we go.
Mm-hmm. But nope. Janet makes it.
It's probably Deenie's funny walk.
Her funny walk. Mm-hmm. Like just waddling in.
Mm-hmm. Janet.
But Janet, she makes it to the second round and then she gets it. She is the 1 7th grader that got a spot on the squad. Deenie is so bummed.
Devastated.
I get it. I would be too. Tries not to cry, pretends to be happy for her friend, but she can only pretend for a little bit. And eventually she can't face riding home on the bus with Janet. So she makes up a fib. And she says she has to meet Helen at their dad's gas station. And that's the end of the chapter.
Oh, man.
She's going to go home and cry.
I'd cry some more.
Yeah. That's it. Bye.
And goodbye.
So, yeah, but that is it for this week. And we'll be back next week with chapter 4, 5, maybe 6, maybe 7. We'll see.
Who knows? We'll see how long they are.
Mm-hmm.
But something like that.
Yeah, we like to wing it.
Get reading.
Yeah, and send us a letter because we'd love to read some letters if you have any stories about cheerleading, any stories about being pretty, or having a hunchback.
Yeah. Scoliosis.
Bring those scoliosis letters on. I have a good scoliosis story, but I'm going to save that.
Oh, I was just going to say, they did the screenings in your school where you'd have to like bend over and touch your toes. Those people doing the screenings were always kind of creepy.
I think it was just the nurse who did ours.
Oh, no, ours was like a weird chiropractor.
Like a third party.
Yeah. Had the crooked pens. You know chiropractors have crooked pens?
No.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Why?
To show like it's like a gimmick.
Oh, they're like, oh, I'm a spine doctor. Here's a crooked spine.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up. That's like a oncologist having like a cancer pen. I don't know.
Totally.
Just the same. Yeah.
An OBG having period pens. Or just like it's a tampon.
A tampon pen. Mm-hmm. And you click the top and then the pen
comes out.
Something like that. All right. Well, thanks
on that
for
note,
listening,
on
guys.
The really cool pen note. Blumesaloon.com.
Mm-hmm.
Blumesaloon@gmail.com.
Thebloomsaloon.com.
The Blooms.
That's where I always get mixed up.
Oh, yeah. Thebloomsaloon.com and blumesaloon@gmail.com. And
Facebook.
Hashtag Facebook. Just search. Actually, if you just search Blume Saloon.
We're the only one.
Yeah. I think you'll probably find us. Tyler Barber.
Thank you.
Thanks, Guy. For making our theme song.
Thanks, Poe, for being so beautifully chill.
Yeah, he's sleeping with his eyes open on my lap right now. It's really, really cool.
He's the best. And thanks you guys for listening. And we love you.
Bye.
Bye.